Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are. This is Katannya Alven, and I'm speaking from Vancouver in BC, in Canada. Oops, I have a light that keeps going off and on, so the light's going to change. Now, what I'm wanting to do is, because I introduced the webinar of We Rebank of Peter of England, which is a genuine, honest bank of a difference. So, still with the Ukraine, the Glenn Beck video that he made, excellent. He shows you about money laundering. So I've got that to talk about. We'll be there. And I've also got war castles. And with war castles, when we go into this one, he is explaining how we are captured through our birth certificate. And he goes back further than that, and that's very interesting. It'll help you understand. And he also talks about that the Vatican is about shipping and banking, and shipping brings us right into human trafficking. Are you beginning to connect the dots? And I'm going to finish. Oh, I've also got this one. Oops-a-daisy. Got that ups-a-daisy again. It's such a natural thing for me to say. It's very, very, I suppose, 1940s English. And we've also got Mark Z talking with Mr. Cottrell, or Mr. Cottrell is talking with Mark Z. Mark Z runs a program, and he is explaining some very interesting things financially of what was going on. Okay, so there's a lot of work for you to do if you want to, and the links will be in the description box. Then we finally go and look a little bit more at Delphin and this consciousness course that actually helps us understand the laws of the universe, and also how we can consciously use them to create the life that we desire. Now, that doesn't just involve having a great time, drinking and, partying and what have you. All of us have a purpose, and when we're on purpose, it feels very good. And understanding how to keep on purpose, how to follow our passion and fulfill that passion. So we'll go back to where we'll be going back to. And my aim is to help you. Many of the people will know this information of the laws of the universe, but might not know the practical information about how humanity has been captured by so-called religion, but actually the Vatican was really it's trafficking, okay, human souls. And there are some people that won't know either, and so here we go. Now, as I bring up war castles, the three war castles are the Vatican, number 1, the City of London, number 2, and Washington, D.C., number 3. It's a triangle, okay, and it's like beating 3 times. And they had in the past, partially still have, but very much in the past, had stitched humanity up. So the Vatican, we could go back to 2,000 years and remember that time when Jesus turned the tables over of the bankers. It goes back further than that. I won't go into that now, but from the Vatican, remember, some of you will remember that I've said, if you happen to watch those videos, I've said that the Bank of England was actually the last of the Vatican banks. It was set up by Jesuit influence through William Paterson, who found 24 other wealthy British landowners or English landowners, and they set the Bank of England up. And they went to William of Orange, who was he wanted to continue his wars, and there was no money in Mary's privy purse or the royal purse, and so they offered to loan him money, and they did so, but for that they demanded the right to print the money, in other words, the charter. And so that's how the printing of the money came out of the realm and into a private banking system. Nothing to do with the people at all.
Okay, good morning. I'm Sergeant Robert Horton, United States Army Special Operations. I was a psychological operations specialist from 1999 to 2012, and I'm also a son of the American Revolution. Now, everyone is wondering about this Russell J. Gould and David Wynn Miller story, and everybody wants to know what in the world is going on with that. What does it mean, right? Okay, but to understand what it means, you have to understand what's going on planet Earth that you all need to be made aware of so you can understand what it is these guys are talking about, okay?
Okay, now, for those of you that don't know anything about quantum languaging, then there is a whole series of information. It is fascinating, and that's what Russell J. Gould and David Wynn Miller were. A whole series of videos, so do watch those. It is, I think, on the Warcastle's channel.
So I'm going to go back to the beginning. This is a very old Masonic system that's operating here on planet Earth, and it is all based upon shipping and postal wars that have morphed into banking wars. Okay, so the three really work together hand in hand, but the banking warfare has really kicked off here as of late in relation to this whole thing. So when you're born here on this planet, or here on this planet, you are born of the water, right? Because this is a shipping war. You're all captured in a shipping warfare that you're unaware of, that you've been captured into. So when you're born of your mother's water. And you are docked as a vessel by a doctor, who is a registered harbor master by the port authorities and authorized by the Department of Transportation. And when you are docked by the doctor, you are then harbored in the harbor in a vessel in dry dock, known as a hospital, which is considered to be a boat parked on the land. Okay? But when you're born and harbored by the harbor master in this vessel in dry dock, you are considered a ward of the state. So you are placed into a maternity ward. Why are you a ward of the state? Because you have not yet been brought under the laws of this old school Masonic system. Now, how they get you into this old school Masonic system is with the birth certificate. So you're considered a ward of the state or an outlaw, because you're not yet under the laws of the old Masonic system, until your mother signs the birth certificate. This is a commercial instrument, okay? This is saying that you are now owned and under the laws of this Masonic system. But you are owned, and that you are nothing more than a piece of cargo or a vessel or a dead person that's presumed to be missing, dead, or lost at sea, right? Once you're legged into this massive corporate construct, and it's a global construct, you are then subject to the laws of the state. State of affairs, not state of California or state of Nevada. We're talking global state of affairs. You're legged into the state. Once that happens, you are then under the laws of this entire global construct. These are the pillars of the laws of this global construct: admiralty and maritime, and civil jurisdiction. Law of the sea, law of the land. Law of the sea has always been held by the King of Great Britain. Okay, that's how he runs his entire country.
And that very much with Elizabeth I was very much into strengthening her navy. And of course, out of Britain came the song, Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. But earlier, let me just interject here, that actually the City of London was formed from the banking fraternity or people. Rome was sacked in 500 and then sacked again later. They went up to Venice, and so these people who were running things went up to Venice, and then and that created the Venetian Empire, and then from Venice they came across Europe, created the French Revolution, and also took over London and that square mile, the City of London. So really you have it, we're a replica Vatican, as is the Pentagon in Washington.
It's considered a vessel, a great big boat, and all the people in that boat are considered to be missing, dead, or presumed lost at sea with their birth certificate system.
And notice, missing, dead, he's saying everything is in capitalized letters. That's showing that they consider you're dead.
How he runs his whole country. And that's the same thing we're doing here in the United States. Why? Because Great Britain has always been our Postmaster General here in the colonies and the 50 states. Now let me explain what Postmaster General of the world is.
We'll go on to part 2 as he explains what the Postmaster General is.